Hello, viewers. Once again, we welcome you to our face-to-face program on Universal Heritage Television Niger. Remember, UHTV is your premier online television in Imo State. In this package, we have as our guest Dr. Chukwudi Okebaram. Dr. Okebaram is the State Assembly candidate for Ihitte Uboma State Constituency. He's here today to enlighten his constituents and the people of Imo State what he is going to do if elected into power. My name is Afam Echi, your host. Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. Dr. Okebaram, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, can you introduce yourself to the people?
My name is Dr. Chukwudi Okebaram. I'm a medical doctor and a university lecturer, lecturing at College of Medicine, Abia State University. I'm also a visiting lecturer to London Metropolitan University, London, and Middlesex University, London.
Okay, it will be interesting to find out what is your motivation to get into the murky waters of politics, especially electing to run for an office, wanting to represent your constituency. What are your motivations?
As a homegrown professional, someone who began his education in Ihitte Uboma and rose from the ranks. My primary education was in two communities in Ihitte Uboma, Dimnez and Awuchunimo, then now Umauchi, and Uboma Secondary School, Ikberejere. So I'm a son of the soil. I grew on ground. The problems on ground, I am very conversant with them. But in 2021, I received an irrepressible nudge to come into the political space, to be able to deploy my expertise, my exposure, my knowledge, my experience, my skills, my contacts nationally and internationally, to bring about the desired change at the local communities. Because as a community health expert, a community health enthusiast, I am someone who is attuned with the things that go on at the primary healthcare level. So that gave me the nudge to come into the political space. And I don't consider the political space as murky, because it takes individuals to come into the space. And what has been happening before the current political dispensation in the Nigerian political landscape is that the good ones are chased away or scared away, as to say that the political activities are in a murky water setting.
Okay, before you, other people have represented your constituencies, and there are complaints here and there of poor representation, and perhaps that is what could have motivated you to come in to close the gap. Now, what are you going to do differently?
Thank you very much for that question. The poor representation you cited is actually the case with my state constituency. The constituents, majority of our constituents are not happy with the quality of representation we have been getting in the recent past. And as such, people are clamoring for change. And I decided to come in to change the narrative so that we will not go to House of Assembly with our representative only restricted to the four walls of the House of Assembly. I have transferable skills. I have exposure, experience, capacity, and competence that transcends just the four walls of the House of Assembly. Apart from being emphatic, mounting constructive pressures on the organs of legislation and agents of government in order to draw dividends of democracy to my people, the people of Ihitte Uboma. I also have other skills, other contacts, other exposures that I can use to draw things that are even beyond Imo State, to bear on the fortunes of our people, in terms of health, in terms of education, and in terms of youth empowerment. The youth empowerment that is attuned with the sustainable development goals of the United Nations, not just jamboree kind of youth empowerment.
Yeah, let me pin you down. Specifically, you can indicate one or two of these things you have in mind to bring down.
Yes. Yeah. As a health professional, yeah, and based on what I've been doing previously, I've been involved in massive community health program, which I run free of charge. And subsequently, in 2018, I registered an NGO, Vital Health Community Health Initiative, through which I've been helping more people. But on ground, I found out that the health centers in the Ihitte Uboma are not manned by the 4 critical manpower for health: a doctor, a nurse, a lab scientist, and a pharmacist, as enunciated by WHO as minimum standard for primary health care deliveries across the nation. If you go to the website of National Primary Health Care Development Agency, you understand that we are operating below par. The WHO and all their conventions, United Nations and all their conventions, have Nigeria as signatories. And as such, we have to do what we need to do. Now, the National Health Act, which is the highest law guiding healthcare delivery in Nigeria, was assented to by the president in 2014. Dr. Chukwudokebaram contributed copiously to the final draft of that bill that became the National Health Act. And one of the critical aspects of the National Health Act is universal health coverage and boosting and development of the primary health care delivery, because that is the most indispensable level of care in healthcare as known globally.
Okay, thank you so much. So what specifically will you place your hand on as your unique selling point?
My unique selling point is that as a health professional and as an educationist, I am bringing a change to the horizon to be able to get our health centers, 10 health centers in the 10 INEC wards of the Ihitte Uboma will be manned by qualified manpower for health, which includes a doctor, a nurse, a lab scientist, and a pharmacist. How will I do this? I was the overall best copper of the year in the year 2010/2011 when I served, and I am as an award winner of NYSC. I have a relationship with them. I will walk straight to Maitama, the Yakubu Gowon House, which is the headquarters of NYSC in Abuja, and say, I am Dr. Chukwudokebaram. I'm now the honorable member representing my people. These are my robust health programs, and I need critical manpower for health. Please, can you send me a doctor, a nurse, a lab scientist, and a pharmacist to all the 10 health centers in the Ihitte Uboma? That will be 40 health personnel. They will come on ground. And remember that a copper doctor, a copper nurse, a copper lab scientist, a copper pharmacist is not inexperienced. They have worked for 1 year under supervision and they have been certified competent. And when I was a copper, a doctor copper, I was doing CS. I was doing cesarean section. Really? So yes, I did. I can't count the number of CS I did as a copper. So what it means, the copper doctor is not a yeye doctor. He's experienced. He's so experienced to handle care, and if not, he will know. If not for being so much of an expert, he can also know when to refer patients. Because my mom died in 2021. If the health center in my community had a doctor there, or at least a qualified health staff working there, my mom wouldn't have died. That little first aid would have saved her life. So now, how many others are dying in other communities that we don't know about, that we are saying that they died according to their God? God does not. God has given us intellect to be able to make a change in the horizon. Now, there is a college of education in Ihitte. Yeah. That college of education is a special tertiary institution. I am a UK-trained higher education consultant. I consult for many universities in the UK. There is a university in Lincolnshire, in the city of Lincoln, in England, known as Bishop Grosset University. It's an exclusively education-oriented university. All the courses in that university are education-related, educational curriculum, educational development, and all that. And I can broker an exchange program between those universities in the UK and our College of Education, so that it will incentivize students, prospective students who want to come to study, to elect to study in Ihitte. And that will make Ihitte a beehive of activities that have a transcending effect on the economy of the place, because the garri seller will sell more because there are more people to consume it. The hairdresser will dress more hairs because there are more students to dress their hair. The Okada rider will have more passengers to carry. So it will become a lucrative business. The hospitality industry will come in. Real estate business will start to boom. The lands that are fallow, up to 7.5, will be occupied. Uboma will become a beehive of economic activities. And this one, we have been struggling to bring banks to come and erect their banks in Uboma. It will become a thing of the past because they don't follow emotions. They follow economic pendulum. And once they see that there are economic activities going on in Uboma, they will struggle to come and establish banks and ATMs in our locality.
Okay, one will also want to find out, why did you choose to run under the Labour Party instead of the ruling party?
Why I chose to run under the Labour Party was because I had a mentor, a political mentor, in the person of Peter Obi, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi. Mr. Peter Obi was a frontline contender in the PDP presidential primaries. But because of a discovery he made, which was also a discovery I made, the transactional politics, the obnoxious transactional politics being propagated at the highest levels, he resigned. He resigned on the 25th of May. I resigned on the 26th of May. His resignation letter is like a mirror image of my own resignation letter, because I felt the only mentor I thought I had has left the party. So there is no.
Was it coincidental or both of you?
No. He resigned, and when I saw he resigned, I saw the reasons he resigned. I resigned my own. I wrote my own letter that same night, and I left PDP. And when I didn't participate in their primary, so I left. So when I heard that he's now going for Labour Party, I was in contact with him and his team. And when I now learned, I was just told that we have now concluded to go with Labour Party. And I went and registered with Labour Party and began my process afresh from Labour Party. And as God will have it, I emerged as the flag bearer of Labour Party to contest in this election.
Very interesting. But there is this argument that Labour Party is not strongly rooted. People say they lack structure.
Yeah, they lack structure.
So what is the structure of Labour Party?
The structure
in your local government, in your constituency?
Yes, the Labour Party in my constituency now is strong. Okay. We have full complement of a local government executive. We have full complement of ward executive. We even have a booth executive. So in all the 117 booths of Ihitte Uboma. Yes, we have our office in this work is the most befitting office. Our ward office in Awuchidumo, there is no party that has a befitting office as Labour Party in Awuchidumo. If you come into Awuchidumo, it's a glory to behold. So the structure has accumulated. Now there are visible and invisible structures. There are people, because of partisanship and how they entrenched in their parties, who are rooting for Labour Party, who are going to even shed their own blood if need be to make sure Labour Party succeeds. But they are not in Labour. They are in one party or the other, and they want to work for to support Labour Party because they know that Labour Party represents the hope of the common man. In the current dispensation we find ourselves, even you media people are suffering. Everybody is suffering. Even the politicians are suffering. No man is a big man again. With your money, you will still suffer. We are all suffering together. The pain is universal. The pain is transcendent and excruciating. And nobody can feign ignorance that we are suffering in this country. And if we have seen a man we can trust with a track record of excellence and probity and accountability that has international reputation of accountability. Yeah. Not people who are struggling with drug peddling and corruption cases and SPVs and all those things. P2B, they have even used touch to check his private parts to see if there is anything there, and they have found nothing. Just like the Bible says, when speaking about Jesus, said, "The princes of this world comment, but they findeth nothing in me." Speaking about Jesus being a man without guile.
Yeah. It's okay, very interesting. Now, the current lawmakers in the states recently legislated against autonomy for themselves, for the local government, and for the judiciary. I don't know, what are your thoughts about this? And what do you think that holds for the states?
You know the meaning of suicide?
Yeah, because you are going to...
Yeah, I'm going there. I know. Yeah. Suicide is self-harm and self-killing. Now, in medicine, there's what we call autoimmune disorder. That is the body fighting against itself. For somebody to vote against his own autonomy, it is unbelievable. It cannot be quantified in any terms, monetarily and otherwise. Now, if they were giving money to do that, it's the shame of a generation. Now, if I find myself in that situation, unless it is done in 5 minutes, that you are not allowed to speak to anybody. If I find myself in that situation, I will rush home and call emergency meeting of all the constituent communities in Ihitte Uboma and say, this is what is going on, and this is my stand, because I'm representing a people. Yeah. That is called emotional intelligence. Yeah. I'm representing a people. What do you suggest? Because this is my stand. I'm not going to vote against. How can you vote against local government autonomy? How can you vote against the autonomy of judiciary? How can you vote against the autonomy of the legislative arm of government? Did you study simple government in secondary school? How many arms of government do we have? And you are voting against autonomy of the legislative, a whole arm of government. In 21st century, in a pre-COVID era, it is grossly preposterous, to say the least. And Dr. Chukwudoke Evram stands to condemn that kind of behavior and that kind of disposition of our lawmakers. When it gets to my turn and I face such challenging situation, I will take it to the crucible of voice populi, voice Dei.
Yeah, what do you think could have motivated them to legislate, to take such anti-people actions?
People say they may have been given money, but I don't believe they were given money. I believe they lack the capacity to stand as an arm of government. Whatever made them to lack the capacity is unfortunate to Imolites. Money is not enough to take such decisions. If money is enough to take such decisions, then we have lost a generation. Everybody should gather a mourning group in all communities and start mourning. Start mourning, just like we do for when somebody is about to be buried. Let people be mourning. Because it's a mourning something in Imo State.
So how will you assess the chances of Labour Party at the presidential election?
The chances are very bright. People said there was no structure. When I joined Labour Party with Peter Obi, the same day, me and Peter Obi, we joined Labour Party the same day. There was no structure that time. But the structure have trickled because we are a common people. We are one people. We buy from the same market. Nobody buys bread cheaper. All of us go to everyday supermarket and we buy at the same price. Both the poor and the rich. And everybody knows how it's paying us. And even the North, they thought that they use religion and ethnicity to stage a war against Peter Obi. They are now beginning to embrace Peter Obi. Peter Obi has campaigned in the North. He's now living in the North. And the dividends are coming. He has campaigned in the Southern Kaduna. He has gone to Kaduna before. He has gone back. He has campaigned in Southern Kaduna, Zonkwa, Kachia, Zongo, Kata, Fakafanchan. He has campaigned. And he's doing more. When he went to Kano, the crowd you saw in Kano were not paid. We're not paid, but APC cannot beat their chest and say that the crowd that came for Tinubu, we are not paid.
We are not
PDP cannot say that the crowd that came for Atiku, we are not paid. But we can beat our chest and say the crowd that came for PDP in the North are organic. They were not paid. And as things are looking, we are highly optimistic in Labour Party that Peter Obi is the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you so much. How will you assess the performance of Governor Hope Uzodinma?
Governor Hope Uzodinma is the executive governor of Imo State who enjoys executive powers. If you look at the environment, you see that there are some infrastructural developmental strides that he's doing. If you travel from Amanako Junction to Owerri, you almost sleep when you're driving because the road is neat and there is street light. That's an example of infrastructural development. I also heard about Olu Road. I've not been there, but I know there are some infrastructural development that are going on and other aspects that he's doing well. However, in the aspect of insecurity, I will ask His Excellency to please up his games in insecurity, in stemming the tide of insecurity in our land. So by so doing, his full score will be visible.
Okay, the level of confidence you have in INEC, what is it like? You know,
you see,
we are doing a different where the Beavers will now.
I have more confidence in INEC now in superintending over the general elections 2023. You know why? Because the government in power are now telling their people, please go and campaign. No, this one we cannot rig it. Oh. Go and verify whether what I said is true. Go and ask any of the the government in power, the party in power, go ask their stalwarts, was that thing told them by their leader? And you agree, you will find out that they were told that. So if you have been told, you are in power, and you have been told, this one cannot be rigged, though, go and campaign at the grassroots. What does it tell? It tells that confidence in INEC is now intact. I know no system is foolproof. Even in America, up to today, Donald Trump has not agreed that the last election was free and fair. So no society is foolproof. The INEC stand on the use of the beavers and the strictly observing the stipulations of the Electoral Act 2022 is highly commendable. It's highly commendable, and they are insisting that we must do it as has been enunciated by the law. Yeah. So I'm very, very happy.
You believe that INEC will do a better job?
Yes. Like I said, it's not foolproof. It's not 100% foolproof. However, it has reduced rigging to the barest minimum. That means we are moving. We are making progress.
Yeah, at least it's snatching of ballot box.
Yes. Because if you snatch it, you're not doing anything with it. Even the collation center tearing of cloth. What are you tearing cloth when the thing is in the server? There is no point. It's posted from the polling unit. We just go to the collation center to affirm. It's just affirmation. And if we go there and what is there is not in the server, of course, it's easy to knock out. It cannot stand legal test.
Okay, one more question. Early this month, specifically about January 4th or so, the state government organized a stakeholders meeting. And in that meeting, some people gave a vote of confidence of good performance on Governor Hope Uzodinma, and they asked him to run. Do you think, going by your assessment of his performance, that he qualifies to earn a second tenure?
I believe in voice populi, voice Dei. What the people say is at times like what God is saying. Now, His Excellency Hope Uzodinma will present his scorecard to the general public of Imo State. Other people, because he's not the only one that will be running for that election, other candidates of other parties will also present their own track record and what they think they can do. Now, it is left for the people of Imo State to decipher and read in between the lines and make their choice of who governs them. Because at the end of the election, whoever is declared winner is your governor. Doesn't matter whether you don't like the person's face. So if Imo State people endorse or vote for His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodinma for a second term, he's the next governor for the second term. But if they don't vote for him, whoever they vote is the next governor. That's how I look at it.
Okay. Finally, let me ask this question. It is not common to see people from the background of academics, venture into politics.
Yes.
One excuse, one problem, one challenge they have is that they lack the financial resources, the financial, the deep pockets to execute elections. In your own case, what is your staying power? Where is it coming from?
My staying power is intellect, capacity, verifiable character, competence, disposition for positive change, and purposefulness. Very clear.
You cannot do this without money.
Yeah, I am doing it with the little resources at my disposal, and I'm doing the necessary things. I'm also. Yeah, I don't belong to the bandwagon of Ikwoso, in Akwoso, Karaka. I don't belong to that school of thought. So what those people who belong to that school of thought can achieve with 100 million, I can achieve it with 2 million. That's my selling point. Then again, I want to say something. People in academia or professionals coming into politics, there is nothing wrong with it. Sometime today, one of the social media platforms in Uboma, there was a heated argument, and one of my younger ones, was lampooning me on that platform, saying I should concentrate on patients and the hospital, and leave government alone. And that if there's emergency in government house, they will call me. But for now, there is no emergency in government house. Without knowing that the doctor is a pluripotential professional. A pluripotential professional is a professional who can multitask, because we have gone through the rudiments of training to acquire the gift of patience. Yes. to be able to listen to complaints. The doctor listens to your complaint when you come into the consulting room, examines you, sends for investigation, and to confirm what the problem is. And when that is done, it ties it down to a diagnosis. That's diagnosis. And we call it working diagnosis. And he makes prescription. And he tells you, come back in 2 weeks. Take this 2 times a day, after meal or before meal. Come back in 2 weeks. When you come back in 2 weeks, he reviews you and says, okay, now reduce it to once daily. Take it only at night. Come back in 1 week. When you come back in 1 week, he says, okay, you can now stop. You are okay. Go and enjoy your life and make sure you obey these health rules. And that is called monitoring and evaluation. So if you're talking about somebody who is squarely trained, it is the doctor. And not to talk of my own kind of doctor. I'm a medical doctor. I've served Nigerian Medical Association as the PRO of Nigerian Medical Association, as the Secretary of Nigerian Medical Association, as a National Executive Council member of Nigerian Medical Association. So I am trained. I have a wide horizon of experience and expertise to be able to help my people, to be able to do the work. Do you know that as an honorable member, I can run free antenatal clinic in our health centers from community to community? Okay. Being an honorable member, does it remove that skill? No. It doesn't. They're happy. And teach them things about their health, they'll be all right. You know, so that is it. The doctor is trained. Apart from that, I have studied abroad. I studied in Scotland. My master's was in clinical pharmacology. I've studied in England. My PhD was in neuropharmacology. I'm a lecturer in the UK. I've studied, I've lectured, I've worked in the UK. For you to be a lecturer in the UK, they will do what they call advanced database search on you. They will contact Nigerian police to see if there's any criminal record, whether you're a pedophile, whether you are a sexual abuser, and all those things before they not clear you. It takes 6 weeks to come out. Once you come, they now say congratulations. After you have got the job, you understand? Before you can now lecture teaching young people in the UK. So that is something you can verify. And that is a character you can trust. You know why people can trust me more than other people contesting? It's because I have many things that can act as checkmate on me. I belong to international organizations and they know I'm running for election. I belong to the Alumni Association of University of Nottingham, which is the same alumni association the Director General of WHO belongs to. So they know I'm running for election and I cannot mess up. I cannot perform below the expectation. And that will put me on check to make sure I do what I said I would do for my people. But other candidates cannot say that of themselves. All they have is what is going for them. And what is going for them is what they alone can control. Thank you very much. It's
okay. One final word for your constituents, those who are seeking their support.
Okay.
What message do you have?
My message to Ihitte Uboma constituents, all the electors in Ihitte Uboma is this. The world has advanced. The pre-COVID capacities required to feature effectively in the world can no longer be relevant in the post-COVID era, which is the era we are now. And everybody in the world is moving. If you look at the manifesto of Peter Obi, it's like the silhouette of the 17 sustainable goals of the United Nations, which is a template for global development. That means at any level of your development in the world, if you apply this template, it will work and you will develop. So let us walk and move to where the world is moving. If you look at what happened recently, Nigerian Universities Commission approved 3 courses that will be now done at the undergraduate level in Nigerian universities, namely BSc Cyber Security, BSc Data Science, and BSc Data Analytics. Why? Because that's where the world is going. There is a war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia today. There are devastations going on. All the OPEC countries are making money in energy. But Nigeria is not making money because of oil theft. That has been exposed. But you know, an addendum I want to bring forth is that after the devastations, when the wars are over, they will need to rebuild their countries. And they will need manpower. They are going to relax their immigration rules. But they are going to ask for transferable skills, capacity. What can you do? So my own idea of youth empowerment is going to be situated to look forward where the world is going, so that in the nearest future, they want manpower from Africa, especially Nigeria. You know, we're endowed with human population, but they will not take people who are useless. There are many youths who are not, they didn't learn a trade, they didn't go to school. You mustn't go to school. You mustn't be a degree holder to be useful in life. So transferable skills can be acquired. And the template as enunciated by Sustainable Development Goals, I have it, I teach it, I know it, I can do it. It doesn't cost money to do all these things. You know, so beyond what I can get for you at Imo State House of Assembly, you know I can get something for you. You know I cannot be pushed away. But beyond the four walls of the House of Assembly, Dr. Chukwudo Kibom is the only candidate in this election that his impact can have transcending effect beyond the shores of this nation. Just like I have told us during the campaign, vote for your conscience, vote for the right person. Let us shun the politics of money and equals. Let's say the truth to ourselves. Who do you want your child to be like? Go and queue behind him.
Thank you, Dr. Okabaram, for coming. Thank you, viewers. Here we draw the curtain. Please remember to stay tuned for another edition of this program. I am your host, Afam Echi. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.